The mother and grandfather of a newborn found dead in a ditch in Norwalk, Iowa have been charged with first-degree murder. 25-year-old Megan Stewart told police that the child was born at home at 407 Center Street in Norfolk, Iowa on the 24th of February. She told authorities that she then left him in the box. She didn't touch him or provide any care for him, as the baby cried on and off for the next 2 days. She said that she and her father, 64-year-old Rodney Stewart, then placed him in a trash bag while he was still alive and discarded the child in the street. Rodney confessed to helping his daughter dispose of the bag in a ditch a few miles from their home. Initially, they both told police that the baby died on the way to the hospital after he was born. Megan said they buried him in a cemetery in Cumming, Iowa, but authorities found no evidence of a fresh grave at the cemetery. Police began an investigation on the 8th of March after being contacted with concerns for the safety of a child. Megan's co-workers contacted police after becoming suspicious when they noticed that she wasn't pregnant anymore and there was no baby, and things they got told just didn't make any sense. The next day, with the help of cadaver dogs, authorities found a baby's body along the road in the 5300 block of Delaware Street in Norwalk, Iowa. On the 13th of March, a witness showed authorities a text message with Megan, in which a witness asked, "Was the baby alive when you left him?" and she replied, "A little." Later that day, Megan and Rodney were arrested. Norwalk Police Chief Greg Staples said, "It's just a tragic set of circumstances on a number of levels. That baby didn't have a choice to decide his own fate, and now there's people in jail because of it." The results of an autopsy are pending, and the investigation is ongoing. It's unclear what led the mother and her father to dispose of the child. The home is now boarded up with signs saying it's unsafe to occupy. A neighbour, Chris Henschel, said that the baby's death made him sick. "We knew she was pregnant. We didn't know that she delivered it. We had no idea," he said. "Honestly, I was pretty appalled. Not really surprised though, just because of the vibe they gave. They were kinda weird," he added. Rodney and Megan are each held at the Wayne County Jail on a $1 million bond. If convicted, they face life in prison. Iowa has a law that allows someone to leave an infant for up to 3 months at a hospital or a healthcare facility without facing legal action. 34-year-old Craig Williams is behind bars and is accused of fatally stabbing his parents Brenda and Billy Williams, both in their 60s, inside their home on Tuesday. At around 7:30 a.m. on the 14th of March, authorities responded to a residence at Tipton Drive in Hopewell, New Jersey for a welfare check. A relative of the victims said that numerous calls went unanswered over the weekend and Billy hadn't shown up for work on Monday morning. When police arrived at the home, Craig answered the door with bloodstains on his clothes. He told the officers that his parents were not home and initially refused to let them inside. After some persistence from the officers, Craig finally let them in. He led them to his parents' bedroom, where they found Brenda and Billy deceased with multiple stab wounds. He said that his parents had been inside for 2 days. Several knives and an axe were seized by police as evidence. Craig was identified as a suspect and he was arrested. He was charged with 2 counts of murder, desecration of human remains, 2 counts of weapons possession charges, obstruction, hindering apprehension, and tampering with evidence. Craig remains held at the Cumberland County Jail. Investigators said they responded to 20 prior incidents at the home in the last 2 years, including domestic violence, harassment, assaults and verbal arguments. All the incidents involved Craig, who was arrested numerous times for assaulting his parents. 23-year-old Connor McStudis is behind bars and is accused of fatally shooting 34-year-old Richard William Durkich during a confrontation in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Monday. And just before 5 p.m. on the 13th of March, authorities responded to multiple reports of shots fired at the intersection of Banksville Road and Crane Avenue. When police arrived, they found Richard inside a minivan with a gunshot wound to his chest. He was taken to a local hospital in a critical condition, but died shortly thereafter. During the investigation, detectives reviewed CCTV camera footage which showed Connor in a silver pickup truck stopping at an intersection and Richard in a minivan stopping behind him. Richard approached the truck and got into an altercation with Connor before he was seen wincing backward, turning around to run back to his van when Connor shot him. Detectives arrested Connor and charged him with criminal homicide. He's been held at the Allegheny County Jail as the investigation into the matter continues. Authorities in Massachusetts are investigating the fatal shooting of a 29-year-old man early this week. And just after 10:45 p.m. on Monday the 13th of April, the New Bedford Police Department received a shop spotter alert for shots being fired near the corner of Dartmouth Street and Dunbar Street. When officers arrived, they found an unresponsive man who had been shot multiple times, sitting in the driver's seat of a black Dodge Charger parked on the south side of Dunbar Street. The victim was rushed to the St. Luke's Hospital. He was pronounced dead a few hours later. The man was identified as Derek Pires of Fall River. He was the sole occupant in the vehicle. Derek leaves behind his fiancée, 2 girls aged 8 and 9, and a 2-year-old boy. Authorities have released no further information about the case, as the matter continues to be investigated.